Welcome to Audit Archive, where we run you through some of the most questionable and rather atrocious police encounters. Today, we're looking at several cases of police misconduct, including an incident where two officers unnecessarily escalated a routine traffic stop by throwing the driver to the ground, pinning her down, and repeatedly striking her across the face with a baton. On April 19, 2019, a Tuscaloosa Police Department officer conducting a patrol initiated a traffic stop on a vehicle operated by 22-year-old Jasmine Shepard. After pulling over, the officer approached the driver's side and requested identification. Within just 10 seconds, he began attempting to arrest her, although the reason for the traffic stop remains unclear. The incident was recorded on the officer's body camera and also captured by bystanders using mobile phones at a cafe across the street.
You know why I stopped you? The guy's been following you. Driver's license, proof of insurance. I'll tell you what, go on, step out. Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back.
From the outset, the officer appears agitated and, without offering any clarification or apparent justification, he immediately instructs Ms. Shepard to exit the vehicle and attempts to arrest her. He fails to provide a reason for the arrest or clarify whether it is mere detention or a formal arrest. This action may contravene Alabama Code Section 15-10-3, which stipulates that a law enforcement officer must have a warrant for arrest unless there is reasonable cause to believe that an offense has been committed in the officer's presence.
Sir,
Are
please.
you serious?
Please, sir.
Have you lost your freaking
Sir, please, please.
Give me your hand! Give me your hand before I break it off!
What's particularly concerning in this situation is that Ms. Shepard exhibited no violent behavior, nor did she attempt to flee. Despite this, the officer's reaction was deeply troubling, as he could be heard growing angry and then throwing Ms. Shepard to the ground. In response, Ms. Shepard tries to crawl away, but the officer quickly pins her down in an aggressive attempt to restrain and handcuff her. During the struggle, the officer's body camera is knocked to the ground. Shortly after, another officer arrives on the scene. This incident raises significant concerns regarding excessive force. Under Alabama Code Section 13A-3-27, the use of force in making an arrest is not justified unless the officer reasonably believes that the force is necessary to make the arrest or to defend himself or others from bodily harm. The aggressive actions taken by the officer do not align with this statute, suggesting a misuse of force. The subsequent footage is sourced from mobile recordings made by customers at a cafe located across the street.
Get all that. They got her.
Touching her. Oh my God. And she,
Oh!
What? And they don't think nobody see them. She probably hitting her head all up against that.
That's a lady though.
And
That's
she's
a woman.
moving because she can't breathe.
They could just stand her up.
The footage clearly shows a highly concerning incident where both officers are on top of Ms. Shepard, compromising her ability to breathe. Additionally, the first officer is seen repeatedly pushing Ms. Shepard's face into the pavement. This behavior appears to be a blatant disregard for legal protocols and the officer's training. This action likely violates both state and federal laws against excessive use of force. Under the Fourth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, individuals are protected from unreasonable searches and seizures, which include the use of excessive force by law enforcement. It stipulates the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue, but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized.
No, she almost did.
Look at him! Oh, God!
Oh my God. Yeah, baby, glad I ain't got my phone call. I'll call the police on the police.
This her car?
Yeah.
What happened?
I don't know. He had pulled her over. She was like she was trying to run.
Yeah, it looked like she was trying to run. Next thing I know, he swung at her. She swung at him. And then it was like she was about to knock him out. Oh my God.
They need better training.
That was horrible. They shouldn't have did that lady like that. I'm being honest.
She ain't even moving right now. She out, ain't she? She out cold, ain't she? She ain't moving.
No, she moving.
Oh, okay. Oh, shit, yeah.
Wow.
In the footage, the officer is observed drawing his baton and striking Miss Shepherd across the face repeatedly. This severe misconduct exemplifies police brutality at its most egregious. Additionally, the officer is audibly using profane language while assaulting her. This behavior not only violates standards of professional conduct, but also raises serious legal concerns. This incident can be scrutinized under federal civil rights laws, such as Title 42, Section 1983 of the U.S. Code enables individuals to sue for civil rights violations, including excessive force, which this incident might well constitute. It states, Section 1983 provides an individual the right to sue state, government employees, and others acting under color of state law for civil rights violations.
Stay right there, don't you move. 21-10-4, start medical this way. No. Shut your mouth! I don't give a shut your mouth. You got a laceration or something.
You do anything other than what you're told to right now, I'm gonna kick you in the teeth. Do you understand me? I am fed up. No. If my glasses are damaged, you're being charged with criminal mischief.
In the footage, the officer is heard making threats to Miss Shepherd, including, "If you don't do exactly as you're told, I will kick you in the teeth." Such behavior is disturbing and casts serious doubts on the officer's suitability to serve in law enforcement. His abuse of power is further highlighted by his threat to charge Miss Shepherd with criminal mischief if his sunglasses are damaged, suggesting he might falsify official documents to serve his own interests and protect his ego. This behavior could potentially violate federal law, specifically 18 U.S.C. Section 1001, which makes it illegal to knowingly and willfully falsify or make any fraudulent statement in any matter within the jurisdiction of the executive, legislative, or judicial branch of the United States. Such conduct not only undermines the integrity of law enforcement, but also violates basic principles of justice and accountability.
She's already being charged with assault too. She grabbed me by the balls and squeezed me. No, you're lucky I didn't put my gun in the back of your noggin and make you obey. You're lucky that we restrained you. You understand me? When you grabbed this, I could have shot you. Do you understand me? Do you know how stupid you are?
You got her ID?
Yeah, it's in the car.
Stand up.
Thank you.
Whose car? I don't care.
Shortly after the incident, Miss Shepard received medical attention at the police department, where it was noted that she was suffering from facial bleeding along with multiple bruises and scrapes. She faced charges including disarming a police officer, assault, and resisting arrest. Following these events, Miss Shepard filed a claim against the city. 2 months later, the Tuscaloosa City Council members voted unanimously to award her a settlement of $16,500 from the city's Law Enforcement Liability Reserve Fund. The police chief acknowledged that his officer had breached departmental training guidelines during the encounter. In response, Officers Stephen Lackey and Cole Ward were both suspended with pay pending further investigation. Next, on November 16, 2016, Officer Jeff Bonar with the Flagstaff Police Department, along with a Coconino County Sheriff's deputy, visited Miss Marissa Morris to serve an eviction notice. During the visit, Officer Bonar mistakenly believed that Miss Morris had an outstanding arrest warrant and attempted to arrest her, despite this not being the case. Miss Morris maintained that she had no such warrant and challenged Officer Bonar to produce it if he wished to proceed with the arrest. Under the Arizona Revised Statute, Section 13-3883, a peace officer may arrest a person without a warrant if there is probable cause to believe that a crime has been committed. The statute specifies several conditions under which an arrest can be made, including the belief that a felony has occurred or a misdemeanor was committed in the officer's presence. However, since no illegal act had occurred in Miss Morris's case, Officer Bonar did not have the probable cause necessary to justify an arrest without a warrant. As the situation escalated, her boyfriend's family began recording the incident on their mobile phones.
Look, I have a warrant. You cannot arrest me till I hear.
Stop fighting with
You
them. Let
cannot
them fuck
arrest
you,
me.
Marissa.
I know my laws. You cannot arrest me.
Marissa.
You cannot arrest me until I know that I have a warrant.
Marissa,
I
stop
need to
fighting.
hear it,
Calm
please.
down. Hey, you don't have a warrant. Just let him run your name, okay? Let him run your name. He will let you go. Stop.
Okay, can you please also hear that I have a warrant? Please?
It is crucial to highlight that during the incident, Officer Bonar deliberately turned off his body camera. The camera was active both before and after the encounter, suggesting that the deactivation during the incident was intentional. This action raises significant concerns about transparency and accountability within law enforcement interactions.
Please also hear that I have a warrant? Please? You cannot arrest me until I know I have a warrant.
Hey, you can't hit a girl like that.
At this point, Miss Morris is heard asserting, "You can't arrest me without a warrant," which visibly frustrates and angers Officer Bonar, prompting him to strike Miss Morris directly in the face. This action represents a severe abuse of power and is a clear instance of police brutality. Such conduct by a law enforcement officer is a violation of the Fourth Amendment, which protects citizens from unreasonable searches and seizures, including the use of excessive force. Additionally, this behavior could potentially breach state statutes that govern the use of force by police officers. Under the Arizona Revised Statutes, specifically ARS 13-409, the use of force in law enforcement must be justifiable and necessary based on the circumstances. It stipulates, a person is justified in threatening or using physical force against another if in making or assisting in making an arrest or detention, or in preventing or assisting in preventing the escape after arrest or detention of that other person. Such person uses or threatens to use physical force, and all of the following exist. 1. A reasonable person would believe that such force is immediately necessary to effect the arrest or detention or prevent the escape. 2. Such person makes known the purpose of the arrest or detention or believes that it is otherwise known or cannot reasonably be made known to the person to be arrested or detained. 3. A reasonable person would believe the arrest or detention to be lawful. Hitting Miss Morris in response to her statement is neither justifiable nor necessary and clearly violates these legal standards.
Like that!
Hey, what the
You guys go!
you videotape that?
Hell yeah, hit her like that!
You videotape
Yeah!
Give me your
You
hand.
can't hit her like that! You can punch her in the face! Look at that!
I'm gonna get tased. Get on the ground.
You cannot punch her like that!
Punch her in the face.
You cannot
Get on
punch
the
her
ground.
like that!
You're gonna get tased. Get on the
What
ground.
did I do?
You're gonna get tased. Get on the ground.
Please don't!
Go inside. You're gonna get tased.
I wanna...
Marissa, just let him. Just let
Let
him.
him arrest you. Just let him arrest you.
You already got punched. You already got punched. That's going to court.
That's going to court for sure.
I didn't do anything.
He recorded him punching you in the face, Marissa. Just leave it alone.
Marissa, just let him.
Just let him arrest you. He recorded it. Just let him arrest you.
I didn't do anything.
Marissa.
Marissa, we'll get you out. Don't worry about it.
Marissa, follow him.
Marissa, we'll get you off. Just go with him. Don't let him hit you.
No, run my name so I can hear it.
Oh, you just sucked her in the
Run my name
face.
so I can hear it. Hey, call right now, Selena. Call and ask if I have a warrant, please.
She doesn't have a warrant.
I do not have a warrant.
She doesn't have a
I just called pretrial.
She just put up her car for that shit, man.
You called right now.
She doesn't have a warrant anymore.
No, I just called pretrial services today. I just barely called him and talked to him. Like, not even like 20 minutes ago.
That's on camera. That's going to court for sure.
No, I do not have these. I know I have
No. What kind of police you got,
He
man?
just punched me in the face and choked me.
I got it on camera, Marissa. I got it on camera.
Please call.
Who do I call? The jail?
Yeah, just call 911 and ask if Marissa Morris has a warrant because I don't. I just talked to my pre.
15.
No, I want to hear it. No, I'm not going anywhere until I know.
Get extra charges. You are under arrest. Stand
For what? I do not have a warrant.
Now stand up.
Excuse me.
Assault?
Yeah, you
When
gotta-
I punched her in the face?
Yeah, you got an assault on her too.
I want to hear that I have a warrant. No, you call
Press
right
charges
now.
on this mother.
Hurry, call.
Go in.
You call
Go
right
inside,
now.
Selena.
She's under arrest.
No, I'm not. I'm not either under arrest either way. I didn't do
Marissa, just let them take you. They're going to take you no matter what, man.
They can't.
I got on camera though, so it's alright.
Take me.
Yeah,
You cannot take me until I know.
I don't know, ask her.
Marissa, what's your last name?
Morris?
Marissa Moore, That's 29, that's good. Marissa Moore,
I know I don't.
What's your middle name?
I don't have a warrant.
Hi, yeah, is this the bail bondsman lady?
No, don't touch me. I am not under
Yes, sir.
arrest.
We have a problem with Marissa Morris.
And I do not have a warrant.
She does not have a warrant, right?
I don't have a warrant.
Wait,
I don't have.
Grandma,
No, if I don't have a
put your
warrant.
hands on him.
I don't have a warrant.
Arrest you too.
I don't have a warrant.
she was exonerated.
No, it's not. I don't have a warrant.
No, they're trying to arrest her. They're saying she has a warrant. It was exonerated. Can you talk to this man here?
Well, I don't have time for that. What's her name?
I don't know, so you gotta go ask her. We don't know her birthday. I got it on video, Marissa!
Okay, they're arresting her. They're saying she has a warrant. I said, I got my title back. The sheriffs and the police. Marissa Morris.
Babe, don't.
I'm just videotaping.
It is clearly evident from the interaction that the sheriff begins to inquire about Miss Morris from her family, presumably to determine whether she actually has an outstanding warrant. This line of questioning is particularly distressing given the circumstances. Miss Morris had already been subjected to humiliation and harassment under the assumption that she had a warrant, which compounds the discomfort and violations she feels. The actions taken by law enforcement not only amplify the stress and anxiety experienced by Miss Morris, but also raises serious concerns about the adherence to procedural justice and respect for individual rights.
Hey, so you got a badge number?
Miss Morris faced charges of aggravated assault and resisting arrest. According to the official report, Officer Bonar stated that he believed Miss Morris had an outstanding warrant and attempted to detain her. During the process, he claimed she began to resist, reportedly kicking him multiple times in the groin and knees. Miss Morris was held overnight and released from the Coconino County Detention Facility the following day, while Officer Bonar underwent an internal investigation. In 2017, Officer Bonar was indicted on 2 counts of felony aggravated assault. He entered a plea of not guilty to these charges on February 8, 2018. The case was progressing toward a trial, scheduled before May 13th, when Officer Bonar entered a guilty plea to a lesser charge of misdemeanor assault. He was sentenced to 18 months of unsupervised probation and avoided jail time contingent upon adhering to the terms of his probation, completing 80 hours of community service, and participating in anger management counseling. In response to these events, Miss Morris has filed a lawsuit against the city of Flagstaff and Officer Bonar, seeking $1 million in damages for the ordeal and the violation of her rights. Next, in March 2016, a pursuit involving 3 officers from the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department ensued after Mr. James Yarborough, during a traffic stop related to his history of criminal larcenies, forced an officer into oncoming traffic, resulting in injuries. Under NCGS 14-34.7, a person can be charged with a Class 1 felony for assaulting a protected government official if it causes them to suffer a serious injury. This law could apply if the assaulted individual was a police officer, parole officer, probation officer, member of the National Guard, or employee at a state or local government detention center. The crime would be a Class H felony if the assault caused more serious bodily injuries. The incident is captured on the body-worn cameras of the officers.
Keep your hands where we can see them. Hands where we can see them. Stop! Hey! Hey! Come here! Come here! Get him! Grab him! Put your hands up. Go get him. Leg, take him. I'll get him. I'll catch that guy.
I think he had blue jeans on and ball cap. About 30 to 40 short hair.
Fraser Cemetery. Fraser and Cemetery. Get me a unit here. He won't cooperate. Grab it for me. Grab it for me. 427. 427 Fraser going behind it.
this stage, video footage shows the officer pursuing Mr. Yarborough with his service weapon drawn, only holstering it later during the chase. North Carolina's stand your ground law allows the use of deadly force like firearms only in self-defense when there is a reasonable fear of imminent death or serious bodily harm. Chasing an unarmed suspect does not meet this threshold.
Go get him. He's still fighting the three. Guys, they got him down. Just slow it down. You ain't talking to nobody. Put him in behind your back. Put your hand behind your back. There you go. It's coming.
At this moment, the scene reveals that 3 officers are pinning Mr. Yarborough to the ground, attempting to handcuff him. Given the combined weight of the officers on top of him, Mr. Yarborough is clearly unable to comply with their demands. Meanwhile, one officer is visibly punching him repeatedly in the lower back, while another is elbowing him in the head and arms. The other officers appear to be endorsing this aggressive behavior, making encouraging remarks such as, "That's right," and "You got him." This conduct is a blatant instance of police brutality. Such actions potentially violate several laws concerning the use of force. Under North Carolina General Statutes, Section 15A-401D2, an officer is allowed to use such force as reasonably necessary to defend himself or another from bodily harm while making a lawful arrest. However, the force used in this scenario appears excessive and not commensurate with the threat posed by Mr. Yarborough, who is already subdued. Moreover, the encouragement from other officers may also breach police department policies regarding the conduct and ethics expected in law enforcement. This situation clearly calls for a thorough investigation and appropriate disciplinary actions to address the misconduct observed.
Behind 420. Fraser. Put your hand behind your back.
I got him. Fine.
Put your hand behind your back.
Put your hand.
Wait a minute. Get out and I'm gonna do it. No, promise to God. Put your hand behind your back. No.
Why are you rolling over if that's what you're gonna do?
Give us your hand.
Oh. I got this one coming.
Put your hand behind your back.
Nice.
Give me one thing.
Go.
Put your hand behind your back.
I am.
Well, do it. Give it. I'm not, can't breathe. You're talking, you're breathing. Okay, give me one thing. Give us your hand.
Bam, bam. It's, you gotta come to Fraser Cemetery.
During the incident, Mr. Yarborough can be heard stating that he cannot breathe. An officer coldly responds, "If you're talking, you can breathe." This dismissive reply indicates a troubling disregard for Mr. Yarborough's well-being and a lack of understanding about the serious nature of his respiratory distress. Such a response highlights a severe indifference to the value of human life.
Best I can tell you, there's one back here that butts up against 277.
Alright, on the backside of the column.
Brother, you're going to have to find a hang on. We're trying to get this guy in cuffs. He's still struggling. Grab him, Billy.
Guys, I'm still in the cemetery. There's all the doors coming. Put your hand behind your back.
You know what, Bam, that's my bad. It is something. I'm sorry. We're crossing.
You're talking, you're breathing. Okay. Fuck you. Put your hand on me. I can't breathe.
Man's got one.
I can't breathe. Get it. Get my arm. Put it behind your back. Okay, he on me.
Guys, Dunham, you have to come up so he can get it back there. He's not going anywhere.
The officer, identified as Officer Dunham, who was positioned on top of Mr. Yarborough, was previously observed punching him in the back. This time, he had a gun pointed into the back of Mr. Yarborough's head, threatening him, saying, "I'll kill you," before another officer stopped him and instructed Officer Dunham to get off of Mr. Yarborough, pointing out that Mr. Yarborough could not possibly move his hands behind his back, with Officer Dunham completely pinning him down.
Keep coming, brother.
Yeah, we will. Hang on. All right. It's over.
What a job.
Mr. Yarborough was charged with carrying a weapon without a license, but he was released due to insufficient evidence. Subsequently, an investigation into the actions of Officer Dunham concluded that he did not break any department rules or regulations. However, it was recommended that Officer Dunham attend a workshop on the use of verbal commands. Instead, Officer Dunham chose to resign from the department. Following these events, Mr. Yarborough filed a lawsuit against the city and the police department. In this final incident, Officer Vines of the Taylor Police Department conducted a traffic stop on 26-year-old African-American man Mr. Calvin Jones for allegedly running a stop sign. The incident was recorded by the dashcam of the police cruiser.
How you doing, sir?
How you doing, man?
You have your driver's license vehicle information on you?
What's going on?
I'll be happy to tell you once I see who I'm talking to, all right?
I need you to let me know, like, what's going on. Like, what happened?
Like I said, I'd be happy to tell you once I see information.
I'm not giving you my information until you tell me what you pulling me over for.
All right, sir. Failure to give me my information is an arrestable offense, okay? So you can either do this the easy way or the hard way, all right?
I need to know what you're pulling me over for.
I'm going to tell you once I see information, all right?
From the available information, it appears that Mr. Jones had not violated any laws when Officer Vines initiated the traffic stop. Despite Mr. Jones asking for the reason behind the stop, Officer Vines appears reluctant to provide an explanation. While it is not legally required in Michigan for officers to explain the reason for a traffic stop at the moment it occurs, it is considered proper procedure and good practice to do so, enhancing transparency and trust. Moreover, Officer Vines escalated the situation by threatening Mr. Jones with arrest, stating, "We can do this the easy way or the hard way." It's important to note that Mr. Jones's wife and underage brother-in-law were also in the vehicle, adding to the seriousness of the encounter. Given that Officer Vines could clearly see the occupants of the vehicle, there is a concern that this stop might have involved racial profiling. Under both Michigan law and federal law, racial profiling, stopping a driver based on racial or ethnic stereotypes rather than any reasonable suspicion of criminal activity, is illegal and violates the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment, which states, "All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws." Additionally, such actions can be in violation of Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which stipulates, "No person in the United States shall, on the ground of race, color, or national origin, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any program or activity receiving federal financial assistance. If Officer Vines has indeed initiated the stop without a valid legal basis and potentially based on racial profiling, this could constitute a significant violation of both state and federal law, necessitating further investigation and potential legal actions.
I got information, but I'm not giving you my information until you tell me what you're supposed to do.
Here's the deal. Either give me your ID or you go to jail.
I'm just saying, you gotta let me know what's going on.
All right, here's the deal.
For all I know, you could be trying to kill me right now.
You're absolutely ridiculous, all right?
I don't care.
All right, step out of the car.
It's been 2 minutes. I'm not stepping out the car.
It is important to highlight that Mr. Jones expressed valid concerns for not providing his ID until he understood the reason for the stop. He voiced his apprehension by saying, "For all I know, you could be trying to kill me." Officer Vines responded by dismissing these fears, stating, "You are ridiculous." This response can be seen as an attempt to undermine or belittle Mr. Jones' legitimate fears, a tactic often referred to as gaslighting. Given the context of the interaction, Mr. Jones' concerns appear well-founded, and the officer's dismissive attitude only serves to escalate the tension and mistrust between them. At this point, 2 more officers have arrived on the scene as backup.
Until you tell me what's going on.
All right, open the door.
Hey, put this on camera. Put this on camera. You gotta let me know what's going on, man. You're not going to.
You're going to jail is what's going on.
For what? You ain't. What charges? On what charges? Wow.
Get out of the car now. Yo, my shit, my shit, get outside. Yo, my shit, my shit, get outside. Yo, my shit, my shit, get outside.
The situation escalated significantly when Officer Vines broke Mr. Jones' driver's side window and attempted to forcibly remove him from the vehicle, constituting a clear abuse of power. Had Officer Vines initially and properly informed Mr. Jones of the reason for the traffic stop, such escalation could likely have been avoided. Instead, the situation developed into what appears to be a pretextual stop, where the officer, having found no initial crime, resorted to citing Mr. Jones for failure to provide identification, a charge that could lead to his arrest. This action is not only highly questionable, but also likely constitutes an abuse of police authority. Moreover, this incident represents a violation of Mr. Jones' constitutionally protected rights under the 4th Amendment, which guards against unreasonable searches and seizures. By forcibly attempting to remove Mr. Jones without a clear and justified cause, Officer Vines not only exceeded his authority, but also infringed upon Mr. Jones' rights to security and privacy as guaranteed by the Constitution.
Get out of the car, man. Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Let me get out of the car. Okay, get out. Get out of the car. You ain't getting out of the car. You're out of the car now. Get out of the car. On the ground. Put your hands behind your back. Me too. Your hands, man. Put your hand behind your back. Put your other hand behind your back. You got it too.
Yeah.
Get your hands, man! Get out of the car now!
Yeah.
At this point, 4 officers were seen restraining Mr. Jones to effectuate his arrest. It is concerning that the other officers complied with Officer Vines' actions despite the apparent lack of a justifiable reason for the arrest. This complicity among the officers raises serious questions about the adherence to proper law enforcement procedures and the apparent disregard for establishing a legitimate basis for their actions.
Hey, watch that. There's a knife right here.
Got it. Yours or none of his?
No, it's mine.
It's yours? Okay.
Yeah, I threw it over there.
Step out of the vehicle.
I got my minutes.
Put your hands on the car.
I'm sorry?
Put your hands on the car.
Don't touch my phone.
Get it out of your hand. Put your hand on the car.
Grab my phone!
It is deeply troubling that the officers targeted Mr. Jones' wife for recording the incident and attempting to use her phone to call for help. This action infringes upon Mrs. Jones' constitutionally protected First Amendment rights, which clearly state, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Furthermore, the officer's decision to arrest Mrs. Jones for allegedly hindering a police investigation is baseless, as her actions, merely recording the event and verbally encouraging her husband to hand over his ID, do not constitute interference. The misuse of authority not only violates the First Amendment, but also raises concerns under various state laws that protect the right to record police activities. For instance, court rulings across the United States, such as Glick v. Cuniff, have consistently upheld the right to film police officers in the course of their duties, recognizing it as a fundamental and protected form of speech. The arrest of Mrs. Jones for such actions is not only a clear abuse of power, but could also be considered an act of police brutality, given the aggressive suppression of lawful behavior. This scenario warrants a thorough review and potential legal action to address the violation of civil rights.
Police brutality. Police brutality. I ain't even doing that.
You listen to what we're saying?
Oh, you're going to jail too.
Real simple.
I ain't what's in here. No matter.
Alright, what's up? Get him up. Alright. I'm gonna roll you over, right? Listen. Roll you over. Get your knees, stand up. Get your knees up. Ready, look up. 1, 2, 3, get up. Come on, right back here.
See.
After his arrest, Mr. Jones was stripped to his underwear and placed in a cold holding cell before being booked. Similarly, Mr. Jones's wife was handcuffed and charged with interference with police authority for her initial refusal to hand over her cell phone. The arrest caught widespread attention when the video circulated on YouTube, prompting the ACLU to become involved. They sent a letter to the chief of the Taylor Police Department addressing the incident. Despite this intervention, significant reform has yet to be achieved, as the case remains unresolved and has escalated into a class action lawsuit. Be sure to check out our previous video where we cover another outrageous police encounter.